one of the things which many of us really valued in Kallistos was that while he'd converted from Anglicanism, he retained a very positive appreciation of, I suppose, those elements in Anglicanism which had helped lead him towards his calling in the Orthodox Church, which meant that there wasn't any kind of embarrassment or awkwardness in being an Anglican in his company, in his presence. Though many of us used to tease him a bit about the way in which he would say, of course, we of the East. And we'd say, yes, Westminster School and Magdalen College. Right. But yes, I first met him when I was a student, when I was an undergraduate, when he came to give a talk on St. Gregory Palamas in Cambridge in about 1969, I think. And then when I moved over to Oxford to do my research, I saw quite a lot of him. He was my internal examiner for my doctorate.
Oh, wow.
And I still have the 9 pages of notes which he wrote on my thesis, mostly correcting my Greek.
Wow.
But we always kept in touch. And one of the great privileges of my life was to go with him to the Holy Mountain about 10 years ago.
What was that like?
Well, obviously visiting Athos itself was an unforgettable few days, and we were received with enormous generosity and kindness wherever we went. And that had a lot to do with Metropolitan Kallistos, of course. And being there in his company, seeing something of his own reputation, his own impact in his own church, that was a gift. And just spending time in his company. He was still engaged at that time in translating the final volume of the Philokalia, which eventually appeared just after his death.
Right.
So that was a very special memory. But again and again, we found ourselves speaking at the same conferences, sharing platforms, discussing issues. He was, of course, heavily involved in official ecumenical dialogues. He was an official guest at the Lambeth Conference of Anglican Bishops in 2008 when I was Archbishop. So his death was, I think, for me, as for many, a real passing of an era. And again, one of the things I remember most from attending his requiem, his funeral, was the number of ordinary Orthodox parishioners in Oxford who turned up and who knew him essentially as a parish priest and loved him as a parish priest and as a teacher and a father and a pastor of souls in that connection. People saw the scholar, the enormously skilled and sophisticated classical scholar who brought all his Greek learning to bear on the study of the fathers. People remembered him as a lecturer of amazing clarity and simplicity on difficult subjects. But to see him in that light, to see him as someone who had simply been a shepherd of souls in a parish, that moved me deeply.